Oh, this is also a very nice planting bed. Seems to be lots of shrubs here.
Yeah, a lot of deciduous shrubs, some evergreens, good variety of things. We're going to talk about the deciduous shrubs here that have a little different variety in regards to how they grow. This one in particular is a Barberry intermedia. It's a red-leaf barberry. It's used basically for a nice shaped, colorful, foliaged plant. And what we're going to do now is do some pruning on it that would be done in late fall or early spring.
So when it comes time for dormant pruning, what do you need to be aware of with this deciduous shrub?
Well, you need to be aware more than anything about the shape of the plant that you're going to be dealing with. And this being an accent plant should be more mounded and shaped as a rounded ball to stay into the area here that it has to grow into. If it was a hedge plant, you would want to trim it tighter, closer together, and create a nice fullness where the plants are actually growing together but shaped.
Could you actually use a barberry as a hedge?
Sure.
So that's something the homeowner should keep in mind, is really know what the plant's supposed to be doing and looking like in the landscape design, because you might have some barberry as a specimen and some as a hedge.
Right. Hedge plants would be obviously planted closer together so that they could grow together and create a tight mass of plant material. And then you can mass plant too as well, where these would be maybe set 3 to 5 feet apart and then not trimmed as much so that it can all grow together and become one large mass, very more informal, more of a natural look. But right here in this particular one, we're going for the nice colorful shape that's maintained into a certain size.
Now, is this barberry similar to other types of deciduous shrubs?
Yes, it is in many ways as far as the shape that you want to create. You know, it's real similar to spireas, it's real similar to potentilla, actually alpine currant, you know, individual and mounds, anything with a separate individual entity to it.
So when it comes to dormant pruning of these types of deciduous shrubs, what do we need to be aware of as homeowners?
Okay, well, obviously you want to make sure that it's one that you want to prune at this time of the year so that you're not trimming off any masses of blossoms that might come in spring.
And again, you don't have to do it in the fall. You could do it before it starts growing in the spring if you wanted to leave some of this as winter interest.
Right.
Okay.
Winter interest with the berries, you might want to leave that. It's nice to see snow on these arching branches, but if you want to get a head start in this particular plant and quite a few others, you can do some pruning that way too as well.
So what are the actual techniques that we need to be aware of?
Well, what you want to do is, again, be aware of the shape that you're trying to create a uniform shape between similar varieties instead of trimming one individually and then the other one next to it looking totally different. You want to have some continuity between the two. I always like to use a hedge shears when you're doing general shaping on shrubs like this that don't have heavy hard wood in it and you're not getting down into the plant. So you start in the center of the plant and you trim out and down so that you have a nice shape created with the actual flow of the hedge shears yourself.
And it seems as though you're going to just where the leaves stop here?
Well, this is all new growth right here, and you want to 6 to 8 inches from where you prune is going to be the most growth stimulation when this starts growing and getting new leaves on next year.
So if you're pruning right here, most of the growth is going to be down here about 6 to 8 inches, you're saying?
Right, from the tip of the plant down into 6 to 8 inches here is where you're going to get most new growth, which will fill this out and make it fuller, a nicer, attractive looking plant, and keep it into the area that it's actually been designed for as far as size goes. So you just continue really working from the outside and down so that you don't undercut the plant and create a bare bottom to the plant.
Is it possible to over prune these deciduous shrubs?
Yeah, it is, Stu. You don't want to chop it down so much that you really have just stubs. You want to create some shape that's attractive through basically most of the year. So if it's something you really are going to shove down to the ground, you might want to wait till spring to do that, because then it'll pop right back up real quick and have a nice look in the landscape. But if it's something you're shaping in general like this one, then you know, just a mild trim around it will be enough.